Every day gets harder because I get no sleep. It's 4 a.m. I'm studying my bedroom ceiling all by myself.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Talon Brown, aka Talontid, and we're going to be asking him some questions about his career, his rap game, amongst some other things. And first, I just want to start off, what does talented mean?
So I actually got the name idea actually when I was attending ISU, and started getting into the music business and the music game. A lot of people said that when they heard what I was writing that I was talented, and it sounded really close resemblance like to my name, and so I was like, oh, talented, and so I didn't really want to put the TED in there because it kind of looked like on paper like my name and then the name Ted afterward. So I was just like, I'll just put TID afterward, and then it kind of ended up the irony of Till I Die, which is like on everything now. So yeah, it kind of worked out,
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. So what inspired you to do music?
Honestly, a lot of other influences from a lot of other rappers that helped me through some tough and challenging times in my life, and that has to do with a lot of the kind of music that I make is to help myself but also help others, because music really did, and I say this with strong passion, did save my life. So I mean, just certain rappers, certain areas that I went through in my life, it kind of inspired me to find my own therapy instead of sit down in a therapy room. And I just feel like music does that for me better than anything else, or rather than another person.
I like that. So when you say it saved your life, how would you explain that music has saved your life? In an emotional way, in a physical
Right.
way?
So I went through a very, very dark time in my life. A lot of people relate to it, depression and suicidal thoughts and everything. So, I mean, I needed an outlet of something, and I was always into sports, and that did, somewhat help me, but it wasn't enough. And so I got into music, listening to music really heavily and certain artists, and then I started writing it myself. And through peers and everything, I got feedback on it, and they were like, dude, like, you're really talented. And so I was like, oh, cool. Like, so I kind of just kept rolling with it, and it's kind of got this snowball effect that hasn't stopped until like something decides to make me stop. So it saved my life in a way where it pulled me out of a very dark place that I went through in my life. And honestly, without it, I don't know where I'd be today. I honestly don't know. But it's inspired a lot. And it's pulled me out of a lot of bad areas in my life.
I understand that completely. So working on your music, obviously you practice, you got emotional, you found an escape through music, writing it, creating it. When do you think in your life you can tell yourself that you made it in the music career business?
Honestly, when I'm able to get those responses that I have given to other artists, where it's you saved my life. If it wasn't for you, then I wouldn't be here. And you've made such an impact on my life with your music and lyrical wise. I'm not really about the whole money and career and everything, because even if I never take off with that, then I'm still going to make music, especially if it helps people, whether it's on a nationwide or worldwide scale, or if it helps people around me, then I'm always going to make music to help other people. And so I feel like if I'm able to do that on a worldwide or nationwide scale, then I feel like I've made it, if I can help as many people as I can through my music.
I like that. I respect that. So why did you choose music? Why music as your outlet?
Like I said, it's the sports only did so much for me, and and I was raised that sports were more important than air. So I mean, growing up, I was never really introduced to the field of music until I introduced myself to it. And so music's just, we all have something that we heal through. We all have something that numbs the pain, so to say. and mine just happened to be music. And so I chose music because it helps me the most, and I feel like I can help the most people outside of what everyone's everyday lives are through my music and through other people's music as well.
I like
So
that. I like that. So, speaking that music is your outlet, where do you want your music to take you? Where do you want your music career to take you in the future? Where do you see yourself?
Honestly, where I see myself is in front of a lot more people and helping them up on stage, you know, and letting them know that even though I'm up on stage, I'm still just like you. I go through the same things, and letting everyone know that, you know, it's okay to be human. It's okay to feel, and it's okay to go through a certain therapy, whether it is through music or something else. So honestly, like, where I would see myself is hopefully on stage in front of a much larger crowd, helping as many people as I can. And if I can make a career out of it, out of literally helping people through what I love to do, then that's my end goal. And that's where I want to see myself, and that's where I do see myself for the future.
So, if you could collab with any music artist, producer, or mixer, or lyricist, or anything, any kind of person in the music industry, who would you like? Who would you want to collaborate above all?
Oof. Like I said, the inspiration came from a lot of different areas. If I'm pinpointing though, you know, obviously my biggest inspiration is NF. I would love to collab with NF, and I feel like we would complement each other a lot with lyricists wise, and Logic is another big inspiration. Token, a lot of the lyricist rappers, you know, I wouldn't mind, you know, sharing their spotlight, because I feel like they reach a lot bigger crowd, obviously, especially with their lyrics as well. Producer wise, I mean, and I know this has not ever been done before, but like with the whole lyricist, artists and everything, collabing with EDM, so to say, I've always loved Skrillex and what he's done, like in the past, old, new, and everything. And so, I mean, it would take a lot of work to get that collab going anyway, and exactly see what kind of ideas would come up out of that. But that's like my most far out one that I'm like, Skrillex would be cool. Skrillex would be awesome, you know. But other artists, singing wise, Tori Kelly. Tori Kelly has a beautiful voice, amazing voice, and I would love to have her on one of mine eventually. And then another one is Charlie Puth. I feel like Charlie Puth singing my hook would be that next pinnacle where I can be like, whoa, Charlie actually sang my hook. And so, I mean, there's a lot of different inspirational areas where I come from, music-wise, but I think those are my most influential, and where I would actually be able to be like, yes, that's an awesome one, you know.
I like that. So, without someone having heard your music, what style of music would you say your music is? I know you have a couple songs that are kind of different, but if you were to tell somebody, again, that's never heard your style of music,
right,
how would you explain it to them?
So what I usually call it, and I also categorize this in with like NF and other multiple artists, is I call it soul rap, because today's day and age is like, the rap is, you know, trap, you know, and a lot of people are into that, and I get it. But I also call this like soul rap, where it comes from deep within your soul. You know, you're trying to help people from the bottom of your heart, and you're talking about things that, you know, may hit people right in the heart, and may not make everyone try to jump and try to break the floor, you know. But I would consider mine soul rap, and if people are like, oh, what's that? Then I would just say, you know, it's heartfelt rap. You know, it's heartfelt hip hop is what I would call it, you know. And some people may have a different opinion on it, and they may call it something else, and that's fine. I know everyone has their opinions, but me personally, I would call it soul rap, and if someone were to ask what that is, then I would give them the explanation. And I feel like I've done that to some people before, and they understand by the end, you know. So
I like your definition. That definitely explains with NF being one of your most inspired artists.
Right.
Soul, rap. That's rap and darker, but it talks about real.
right.
You know, real stuff, real subjects.
That not a lot of artists like to go into, you know.
Exactly.
Right.
That fun part, which is like you
Right.
said, it's a topic, and you have those days, but there are
Which I get it, but it's not really my forte of making music. But I'll listen to party rap, you know. Everyone does.
Oh, yeah, you gotta have
So
those days.
right.
So in your music career, what would you say your biggest accomplishment is of to date?
Honestly, my biggest accomplishment was getting a professionally edited, produced, shot, everything music video. And you know, I can sit and write lyrics for hours, you know, and I can record different music, but actually like getting in front of a camera and having that emotion as well, and having it all day for as hard as you know, like you work for that video, and as good as it's gonna be, and hope that it comes out as good as you want it to. I would say my biggest accomplishment is the music video, because if you compare it to other rappers, a lot of them are like, oh, you know, got tracks here, got tracks there. You never really hear, oh, I have a music video, you know. And so like, if I can have a music video that people can go watch and people can actually get back to me on and be like, bro, that was actually pretty good. Like, you got some good stuff there. Then I think that means the most for success-wise in the music industry, of saying not a lot of people have done that and you did it. So I would say my music video. There's a lot that I can reflect on, but my number one's probably the music video.
No, that's respectful. Like you said, you can hear music all day long and
Right.
you can feel their emotion, but seeing somebody act on their own music and act on their own emotion, it brings a whole different level. And as you said, even though we have cell phones in this day and age, a lot of people say, I have SoundCloud songs, I have this, I have that. But for someone to take the time and to go out and to think and to edit, to do all those things and get that out online is
Right.
a big accomplishment. So, what exactly do you want to get out of your music? Whether for you or whether for somebody else, what do you want your music to do?
Make an impact. If we're narrowing it down, I want it to make an impact not only on my fans, but for people outside of it as well. That if, you know, they hear a song off chance and it helps them in some way and it makes a difference in their lives, I just want it to help as many people as it can, because I know all of us go through certain things in life and hard trials, and I get it. I've been there before. I know everyone's been there before. And so if my music can make that much easier to actually say, I get it, I understand, you're not alone, then that's my number one goal, is to make people feel like they're not alone.
And I'll make sure for anybody that's interested, all links will be in the description for you guys to check out his music so you can see it there. So following, you know, where we can find your music, what about your merch line? What's happening with that?
So merch line has actually been under construction for a while now. We've been working on it. We actually are trying to get the merch line by July, August sometime. We're going to have hoodies. We're going to have multiple options for hoodies, multiple options for t-shirts, because not everyone's going to wear a hoodie when it's hot out. So I mean, you know, had to have options, and t-shirts, 2 different types of t-shirts, 2 different types of hoodies, and 2 different types of hats as well. We got flat and curved bill. So that should be coming out anytime July, August area. And, you know, if anyone wants it, then obviously just hit me up personally, or hit up my manager, or, you know, hit up anyone else who actually has some merch, and they'd be able to tell you exactly how to get it.
So your merch line, your music, that'll be in the description on screen. Make sure to follow that. It will also include all your social media links if you want to follow him, find his music, learn more about him. All that stuff in the description below and or on screen. So, lastly, I want to ask you, what sets you apart from other rappers? We have local rappers, you have big rappers. You know, I don't want to compare you to anybody that's been in the game for 20 years or so, but what do you think sets you apart from other rappers?
Well, if we go locally, I hear a lot of the local talent, and it's a lot of the hype stuff and everything. If you go local and you're trying to find local talent, then it's a lot of today's rap, which is very hype stuff, very trap feel. I feel like not a lot of people have the same vibe and the same type of lyricist coming, especially out of here, that I'm able to offer. And so I feel like on a worldwide scale, what puts me apart is the area that I come from and what I'm able to offer, because not a lot of people, think of Idaho and think of hip hop. They think of potatoes. So I mean, I feel like I set apart because of where I come from and the type of talent that I have to offer and the type of material that I have to offer, whether it be for other artists, whether it be for other record labels, being able to show how much work that I put into it. If you actually take a deep dive into what has happened and what I've gone through to get to this point, even though like it's not as much as people see, because the only thing that people see is the finished product. They see the songs, and then they see the merch line. But I feel like I'm set apart because of how hard I work and how bad I actually want to make a difference in people's lives and how bad I actually want this. Not a lot of rappers have, or artists have that work ethic, that drive. They take days off, so to say. And if I were to tell you that I took days off, I would be lying. So I mean, I would just say the work ethic for it sets me completely apart from any type of group, and that doesn't just go for the music, that goes for the merch line, trying to get it to other people, trying to sell out shows that I'm performing at. And so I would say work ethic, honestly.
I like that a lot. Again, if you guys want to check out Talontid, make sure to follow his socials, him online, his music. I really, really want to push you guys to check out some of his songs. His recent music video put out. Awesome work, really deep stuff. If you're a fan of NF, a fan of Token, Fast Deep, really, really focus on the lyricist. Check him out.
Open up and I ask myself, is it really that hard to show love?